All right, I'm in the carpool lane pretty early today to pick up my daughter because my husband was supposed to pick her up from school on Friday and he was like 20 minutes late. And now she's traumatized and didn't want to go to school today because she's afraid that we were not going to pick her up. Mind you, she's like a 10-minute walk from our house, but I decided I'd come really early just in case some tragic, crazy accident happened on the way here and the roads were all closed, and I would make it in time because I promised her I would. So here I am early. I got a question from, I think a video or two ago, I can't remember when it was, but it was talking about, or the question was, can you talk about going all in when your weight restored? This topic has been touched on a lot by me, and I know a lot of other fellow coaches. And you know, the first question I'm going to ask you is, well, how do you know your weight restored? Most people will say, because I'm in a normal BMI, or because I've gained X amount of weight, or because no one thinks I look sick anymore, or because I was never really even underweight, so I know I'm weight restored. Or there's so many things people will say about why they think that maybe all in wouldn't work for them when it has to do with their weight. And all I can say is eating disorder recovery is about rewiring your mind out of that eating disorder. And so when you say your weight restored and you also are asking, is all in okay for me? Well, all in is recovered. So if you have to make an effort, or going all in is hard for you, then you're not recovered. Because when you're fully recovered, like, your life is all in. You just, every day is all in. That all in is going to look a lot different than what it looks like when you're in recovery, of course, but it's not like all in is just in recovery, and then once you recover, you're actually not all in anymore. Then you somewhat restrict. Like, it doesn't really work that way. It's just, you're always all in, you're never restricting again. And so I guess then the question I could ask myself, I'm weight restored, and am I all in? Yeah, I am. So that should answer your question. Weight is completely irrelevant. If you don't have your eating disorder anymore, you can't restrict. And if you're restricting, you're not all in. Now, that term gets thrown around so much. I probably, if I put all in the title of this video, I'll get more views, just because it's such like this popular phrase that people are using for really just fully recovering, for really going for it, and for dropping all eating disorder behaviors. And so my answer to you is, you still go all in when you're weight restored. How do you do that? Just like I would tell anyone else to do that didn't think they were weight restored, or who had very obvious weight gain, right? That was necessary for their recovery. Very few people are in that boat. Very few people are in the boat of, everyone's on my back, I'm so underweight, and my BMI is so low, and I'm on death's door, and blah, right? Very few people are actually in that boat. Most people are in your boat. Hey, according to myself, I think I'm weight restored. So how am I supposed to eat all this food and then allow myself to still gain more weight? You've got to let your body take over. So when you start eating unrestrictedly and you start listening to your mental hunger, if your body's not happy with the weight it's at, it's going to gain more weight. If there's more repairs and more healing to do, it's going to gain more weight. Are you going to like it? Probably not. Are you going to think it's too much? Probably. Are you going to be terrified that you're going to keep gaining and gaining and gaining and gaining? Probably. Are you going to have to surrender to this process, and are you going to have to be determined to figure out a way to be okay with the body that is going to be your recovered body? I'm not going to go too far into overshoot in this video, but oftentimes you're going to have to gain a little extra. You're going to have to gain a little bit more than what you think you should be at, or perhaps what your body actually does end up being at. I definitely had to gain more than where my body ended up settling, and I didn't know at the time. There's no guarantee. It's not like, okay, well, now the next month and a half or 2 months of weight gain is actually just overshoot. I didn't know that. I had to just be like, I'm clearly not mentally rewired. I'm still very messed up in my head, and I have to keep going. And you have to have that mindset if you expect to fully recover. So yes, ask yourself, what is your goal? Is your goal just to be rehabilitated? Or excuse me, not even rehabilitated. Is your goal just to gain weight? Is your goal just to gain weight and still be just as disordered as you were before? Or is your goal to really rewire? If it is, you have to stop all of your eating disorder behaviors and allow your body to go wherever it's meant to go. And I know that's so much easier said than done, especially this world that we live in. I get it. It's so much harder when you're naturally in a larger size body and you're being asked to let go of any kind of restrictive behaviors that you've been doing, knowing that that's likely going to be the body that you settle in. That's hard. There's a lot of stuff to work through in that, and support would probably be helpful for you in that case, from someone who you feel like you relate to and trust. But it's possible. It's absolutely possible, and it's so, so worth it. So that's my message today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.